You may enter.
Thank you, Chairman Hoshino. Captain Takabe said it would be okay for us to talk.
I heard. And I believe I already know why you've come. You've done us a great service. I would not still be leader of this clan if it weren't for you.
Does that mean the Seiryu clan's gonna pull through?
I can't say for sure yet. About 20 to 30% of our men defected to the Omi. The ones who stayed are grumbling behind my back. And it's hard to blame them. They just found out the Ijincho standoff was all a sham.
Zhao told me he's giving up his position as the leader of the Liumang. Songhui is going to lead them.
Yes, I know.
You just know everything, huh?
Not everything. But I'll tell you what I do know. Eventually, the Seiryu clan will succumb to the Omi Alliance.
What?
For people who had nowhere to live outside the gray zones, the Great Wall of Muscle was their only protection. Now it's crumbling. That's a matter of life or death for them. Already rumors are flying into Jincho's political circles. Rumors that Ogikubo's lost his touch. I'm sure Aoki got those whispers going. He never lets a good crisis go to waste.
Oh, really?
Aoki knows it would destroy the party if it ever revealed their chair, Ogikubo, forged money for years. Now Aoki can easily blackmail Ogikubo and force him to step down. Aoki will become the new party chair.
I don't get it. Why does he want to take Ogikubo's place so bad?
The party chair manages elections, so in that role, Aoki could nominate anyone he wants. He'll control the ruling party. Therefore, he'll control the nation.
The whole country will be under his thumb?
Yes. Especially if I'm right about his next move. I think he's gonna try to dissolve Parliament.
Some widespread conspiracy stuff you're talking about. Jeezums.
Dissolve Parliament? At a time like this? That's insane.
Prime Minister, I understand how you must feel, being unable to rely on Ogikubo-sensei. But honestly, I have the power to support you better than he ever could. If an election were held today, I could guarantee you 2/3 of the seats. Minimum.
Do you have a solid plan for doing that?
Yes. I'll send Bleach Japan to the districts where the Citizens' Liberal Party is weakest. Bleach Japan can influence votes anywhere. They're incredibly popular. Plus, they have my endorsement. A victory for the party would, of course, move your personal political goals forward.
Oh.
Tell me, do you think you have the power to maintain the party's stability right now? We don't want it breaking up for lack of support from Ogikubo-sensei.
You can talk that way to the house, but not to me.
Appoint me to party chair and hold an election. If you don't, I'll be forced to make public the nature of Ogikubo-sensei's crimes. That would mean the end of not only your administration, but the party itself.
But there's no precedent for someone serving as both governor and party chair. Besides, you're much too young.
If age is what you want, start digging for some old fossil who can stop me. That is, if you think you can find one. Anyone in particular come to mind?
Aoki's scheme to destroy the Great Wall worked. Now he's got Mabuchi and the Omi at his command. So much power, vested in just one man. And it had to be Masato Arakawa.
Now the young master has this whole plan in the palm of his hand. Blood is being spilled all because an outsider interfered. How could Arakawa's son I once knew be part of that?
Kasuga, I know you never intended to be at the center of all this. It was pure coincidence that you were there when the soap landowner died. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep. Lucky me.
But one thing I don't believe is a coincidence is that you ended up in Ijincho.
Huh? What do you mean?
Do you still have that fake bill?
Yeah. Didn't you say you knew how it ended up on me?
Yes. Only one person in the world could have put that bill in your pocket.
Who? Who is it?
Masumi Arakawa himself.
Arakawa-san? No, he's the one who shot me.
Yes, I'm aware he shot you. But did you ever consider that maybe he did that so you would end up here?
What?
That fake bill was his letter of introduction between you and me. It was to let me know that you were one of Masumi Arakawa's men.
Kind of a weird way to introduce us, don't you think?
I think what it means is Arakawa's goals do not align with those of Ryo Aoki.
Well, then, what are Arakawa's goals?
I really can't say. But I do know that he means business. He wouldn't have used that bill if he didn't.
Chairman, how exactly do you know Arakawa-san?
Well, that's a long story. And there's a much better place than here to tell it. Heian Tower.
Heian Tower.
Yes. That's where my fate intertwined with Arakawa's. He sure seems to be partial to Peking duck.
Yeah.
Let's have it for lunch tomorrow. My treat. I'll make the reservation.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a nice meal and nothing bad will happen. Surely that'll happen, right? And now we're gonna talk to the party, apparently. Let's go down and share the news, I think. Yes, alright. How exactly do I start this? Oh, just by talking to anybody. You good to talk, Ichiban? After hearing what you said about Chairman Hoshino earlier, there's something I'm curious about. Huh? Lay it on me then, I guess. Well, remember how he said it wasn't chance that you came to Ichincho? Yeah, something like that. Well, while you were bleeding out from a gunshot wound, I was working my ass off to find the tools to treat you. I doubt you remember. Nah, you know my gratitude is deeper than the oceans for that. Well, I think the part you'll want to know is the one who told me to treat you was none other than the chief. What? I mean, it was the middle of the night. I was asleep, of course. The chief and a few guys came to me in a panic and asked me to fix you up. But now that I think about it, why would they care? What's that supposed to mean? You don't need a motive to save a dying man, do you? If you were one of us, sure, I would have done it, no questions asked. But getting involved with a shot yakuza, that's asking for trouble. If they really wanted to save you, why didn't they drop you off at a hospital or call an ambulance? But the chief wanted to keep it in-house. Right. So I think the chief must have had a reason he wanted to save you, a reason we still don't know. I guess he might. I think it relates to what Chairman Hoshino was saying about you being here isn't just chance. You think there's more to the chief than we know? Well, every hobo has a secret or two he's hiding. If you've got time before your Peking duck date, maybe talking with the chief would be a good idea. Alright, that was it. Oh, hey, I get to harvest my plants now. Alright. And now we'll head straight there. And we're right here. I don't know why. Oh, there he is. I didn't even see him.
Chief,
Hmm?
my friend's got some questions about the day I was dumped in this town.
Yeah. I want to know why you didn't just abandon Ichiban or dump him in a hospital. If you don't mind telling us, I'm sure we'd all appreciate it.
I see. Fine. I'll tell you. It's as good a time as any.
What?
There's an old tradition in this homeless camp. A responsibility passed down through the chiefs for many years.
What responsibility?
On occasion, when we're asked, we dispose of bodies.
What?
Bodies?
Yeah,
What?
there's a yakuza family from Kamurocho who pays us to do it. They're called Arakawa.
Arakawa? Seriously? They, was this going on while they were still Tojo?
I don't know every detail, but yes. The arrangement existed at that time. It existed before I started living here. We've dealt with all kinds of bodies, whether they've been shot, stabbed, beaten, no matter how nasty. We dug holes and buried them under garbage. Who knows how many are there now? Back during the bubble, we got one every month. Or so I was told. Since I became chief, there's only been 3.
Damn. Arakawa the assassin.
But there's one more secret rule. It applies to anyone the Arakawa bring here alive.
A secret within the secret. Great.
What happens if they bring someone alive?
We're supposed to give the person medical aid, then let them go free, while pretending they're dead.
What's up with that?
In the criminal underworld, there's always people wanting to fake their own death. Gamblers, guys on the run, anyone who's afraid someone will hurt them. They send people like that here, and we honor the secret agreement. I think it might actually be a service the Arakawa family provides, but obviously they don't advertise it. So it ended up being a very rare event.
Is that agreement why you saved me? This live body rule?
You got it.
What sort of guy dropped me off here?
I mean, probably just someone from the family. I had no reason to check or anything. The guy lugged you out of the trunk of a car. You were covered in blood. He paid me and left. Didn't say a single thing the whole time.
So Arakawa's son knew these guys would save my life. When he shot me in Kamurocho, was he planning to send me here all along?
Ichi. You have to die. I'm counting on you, Ichi.
Huh? What the? After Arakawa-san shot me, I think he said something. I think it was, I'm counting on you, Ichi.
What would that even mean?
No clue. But the more I think about it, the more I'm sure he said that.
Look, Ichiban.
What?
I don't want to dash your hopes or anything. But when you were dumped here, you were on death's doorstep. You're only alive because everything I did went exactly the way we needed it to. But it could have easily gone a different way. I know you want to trust Arakawa, but...
I think Arakawa-san had to shoot me. All the other Yakuza at that meeting were watching him.
Huh?
Never mind. You don't get it. Forget I said anything.
Ichiban, it's about time to go to Heian Tower. You've got lunch plans with Chairman Hoshino, right? Yes, I indeedy do. And I'll see you guys when I'm there.
Hey, Namba. You good?
Oh, Ichiban. Perfect timing. Guess you could already tell, but yeah. I've got to get something off my chest. You got a sec?
Well, you bet your ass I got a sec. That's what being a bro is all about. And you and I are totally bros. You know that, right?
Suppose so. You're kind of nuts, but I guess that's what I like about you.
I'll take that. So lay it on me.
Promise you won't tell a soul?
Yeah, cross my heart.
Okay, so... Last night I had a hankering for a nightcap, so I dragged my ass down here. But it was late. The bartender wasn't around. And so I'm sitting here all by myself. Then I start thinking, what would be the harm in helping myself to a small pour? Just a shot, really. Figured I could pay it back later, you know? That's when I see it. An unopened legend malt. Shining in the dark like it had my name on it.
What's a legend malt?
A super high-end whiskey. The king of kings. One glass is at least 10 grand.
Get out of here.
I know, right? I couldn't dream of
Wow.
buying a shot, much less a glass. But I figured a drop would be okay.
They don't exactly sell it by the drop, dude.
Well, you're right. But I took one anyway, because who was gonna stop me? I poured just a drop onto my hand. And when that sweet honey touched my tongue, I went straight to heaven.
It was that good?
Best whiskey I've ever had in my life. A taste that I felt through my whole body. A fruity aroma that I can still smell if I try. I'm telling you, it was pure magic. All my cares just melted away.
It's really that good? They don't call it the legend for nothing, huh?
Yep. Packs a legendary punch, too. Next thing I know, I'm staring down an empty bottle.
Wait. Don't tell me you drank
Oh
it
no.
all.
I did. Guess I blacked out or something. But the fact remains, I downed at least 100 grand worth of whiskey.
What'd the bartender say?
You think I actually told him? What's he gonna do, hand me a bill that'll never get paid? What I did instead was I found the nearest mini-mart, grabbed the cheapest whiskey I could find, and replaced it.
Wait, so the whiskey in the legend malt bottle right now is...
Horse piss. To the brim.
Dude, someone's gonna find out eventually, you know?
I know. Why do you think I'm so stressed out? So come on, Kuska. What would you do if you were me?
If it were me, I'd... Well, it's not like you can return
What's
it.
done is done, I
What's
guess.
done is done, you know? And if I get caught, I just pull something out of my ass.
That must be nice to have that kind of confidence. I could see that working for you.
Yeah, man. No point crying over spilled whiskey.
Either way, I can't just ignore what I did. I'm practically a thief now.
Yeah, but if you're gonna steal, at least you made it legendary, right? I say, you gotta stay cool, see what happens.
And maybe you're right.
Well, if it isn't my two favorite vagabonds. Why are you two not drinking?
We were just figuring out some life stuff.
Without me? At least you saved me a seat.
Of course we did. Shall we?
I'm in the mood for something special today. And I know this place has some killer whiskey.
You want whiskey?
Yeah, there a problem?
Not exactly a problem.
Good. I was thinking we could do something fancy for once.
You don't mean...
Bartender, I'll take a
Oh, no.
12-year-old silver malt on the rocks.
You sure? It's 1,500 yen a glass.
Okay.
What? A girl can't reward herself every now and again?
Oh, thank God.
We're gonna shit our pants every time someone orders a whiskey now, aren't we?
No doubt about that.
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you for your concern, Songhui.
Yo, what'd she say?
Oh, nothing. She just asked for an update on the situation. That's all.
Yeah? Bet it feels pretty good knowing a babe like her's looking out for you.
I'm blessed to serve one such as she. The Jungi Han I served before was quite the blessing as well. If I'm to talk about Jungi Han, I'll need to provide some backstory.
Cool with me. I got plenty of time.
Ha! Then I hope you're prepared to sit for a while.
Sure, I'm all ears.
My father was one of the stray Qingwan Mafia I mentioned earlier. And to speak further, he was a lowly thug left behind in a foreign land. In my youth, I was relentlessly beaten by my father, in addition to being neglected by those around me. Home, school, no place provided me with even the slightest bit of sanctuary. Thinking back on it, I'm sure I was a rather dissolute child.
Well, you're not alone in feeling like you got no place to go. Plenty of people feel that way, even civilians.
Feelings of isolation are really that common, huh? Not sure if I should be comforted or not.
Sorry, didn't derail the story, did I?
The real Jungi Han had also been raised in a poor and neglected environment like me. But rumors of his strength, intelligence, and ambition started to swirl. And as the men from my father's generation grew older, Jungi Han started gaining more and more power. In fact, it was thanks to him that the stray Jingon found any success in Kamurocho at all. While the Tojo clan was being choked by anti-violence laws, the Jingon Mafia were steadily gaining a sense of existence.
Sounds like he must have been pretty cool.
Yes, but my father, who underestimated him as some young greenhorn, failed to prove his worth and was left trying to catch up. A staunch alcoholic, he used what drunken wit he had to try to get close to the young leader. So, eventually he worked out a plan. He would mold his own son's face, set him up as a body double, and offer him as tribute.
What?
I was drugged by my father, and this was done to me while I slept.
No way. He did all that just to impress the boss?
When he was presented with a body double, even the real Jungi Han could only force a smile. But he saw what had gone into my face, and he respected the effort. So he said it was a fair offer, and took me under his wing.
And what's your father doing now?
He's long since passed away. His health was already in steady decline, and for what it's worth, I'm sure he wasn't opposed to dying at the bottom of a bottle.
That's a shame. Guess you two weren't super close then.
Jungi Han kept me at his side as much as possible so that I might learn his mannerisms. Strangely enough, it was the only place that finally felt like home. I was very much his servant, and he was very much my master. But in spite of that, we shared a lot of laughs in the long time we spent together. A lot of drinks as well. And though I was his double, it would be rude of me to say that we came to resemble twins.
So the way you're talking right now, that's something Jungi Han taught you?
The real Jungi Han had a way with words I never will. And when he walked into a room, you knew it. Try as I might, I would never reach his level.
Hearing you say all that makes me even more curious.
About what, may I ask?
Yes, I'm curious about the dirty jokes.
I'm very curious how you managed to totally
You
imitate
know what? I
this
am
guy.
really curious on how you did this.
Oh?
Changing your face is one thing, but to be able to be just like the guy means you're, like, a master impersonator or some shit.
Unfortunately, it's far more than impersonation. It's a lifestyle, which requires one to change on the inside as well.
Well, sorry for asking about something so stupid then.
Not at all. It's been a long time since I've laughed like this.
But you know, despite me saying sorry, there's still one thing I gotta ask.
And that is?
Isn't it about time you told me your real name?
Ah,
Still a no, huh?
ha.
This again.
Just a little taken aback is all. I have no problem telling you. When I was first brought into this world,
Oh,
I
heck
was given
yeah.
the name Yeonsu Kim.
Yeonsu Kim.
I have no intention of returning to that name. Not when the real Jungi Han has already passed away.
The real one took a bullet to the head, yeah?
Correct. There was conflict with a group from Hiroshima that had made its way into Tokyo. As far as I'm concerned, the Jingon Mafia died along with him. At the time, I was given the role of staring down the other hostile groups within Kamurocho as Jungi Han. But with their real boss dead, the remaining Jingon Mafia in Kamurocho were nothing but paper tigers. Should our enemies have discovered this, we would have been ousted and probably killed.
If it were me, I probably would have gotten the hell out of Kamurocho. Left everything behind.
Yes, that's precisely what I did. The few remaining members at my side did the same. But seeing as the Jingon Mafia was all I'd ever had, I had no place to go. No refuge where I might reconvene with my allies. I was lost and alone in the world. Like a man dying of thirst in the desert, surrounded by a hungry pack of wolves.
Sounds like you had it rough.
I found a faint glimmer of hope in the Korean community here in Japan. But even they refused to accept me, as I was nothing but a criminal to them. Thinking on it now, I should have expected as much from those living an honest life. But still, in my confusion and dismay, I challenged them, asking why they would abandon one of their own.
I get that.
It was enough to make them call the police. And I'm sure that under normal circumstances, I would have been taken away. However...
Huh? Come on, man. Don't just leave me hanging.
The police officers were imposters. And instead of being incarcerated, I was brought to my new home, Yokohama Ijincho.
So those fake officers, were they?
Members of the Komijul, sent to retain me under the orders of Samui. It turned out that the Komijul was a place that many former Jingon members had drifted to. Those that distanced themselves from Kamurocho slowly but surely found their way there.
Oh yeah. Songhui did mention something about the Komijul having roots in the Jingon Mafia.
Indeed. Komijul is essentially a safe haven for refugees. That's why they tend to keep quiet and remain exceedingly closed off. For many years, they spied on the Jingon Mafia in Kamurocho from a distance, keeping close watch on their movements. I was fortunately saved by the hand that the Komijul had extended to me. Moreover, Songhui told me what had happened to the real Jungi Han. That he had been shot in the head by an assassin hired by the Hiroshima yakuza, taken by surprise from the shadows.
An assassin? So what'd you guys do? You kill him?
No. By the time I'd learned of his existence, he was already dead. I wasn't even given the chance for revenge. I spent many of the following days in despair. But even though I was in such a hollow state, Songhui patiently waited for my recovery. She was more like family to me than my abusive father could have ever hoped to be. A sister to replace the brother I had found in Jungi Han. Frankly, Nothing would hurt me more than to betray her expectations and disappoint her. And Kasuga-san, as for you and me... I'm wondering what sort of boss you'll be. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do.
I don't remember ever becoming your boss. Right now, I think drinking buddy is a better term, don't you?
I see. Then I will do my best to live up to that title.
Oh, guess that's finally it for introductions. He sure is shy, that young Soo Kim.
That's funny. It still says Jung-hee Han.
Yo, Sajan.
Oh, Ichiban. Perfect timing. Listen to this.
What's up? Oh, is it about Nanoha?
Yeah. I worked up the courage to call her and asked if she'd been caught up with any bad guys lately.
And how'd that go?
Well...
Not good, huh? Gotta say, I wouldn't have started with the bad guys line.
I just couldn't find the right thing to say.
Yeah, I know it's hard. But all that matters is getting Nanoha away from that dirtbag.
I don't know. We'd been apart for so many years, I was probably way out of line to tell her to break up with her boyfriend. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't even take my calls if she knew I've been checking up on her this entire time. But at least she still doesn't realize I know about her being employed at a soapland. She can never find out, not ever. I'll pretend not to know for the rest of our lives if I have to. But how do I help her without letting on what I know? If I do nothing, Katsuragawa might bankrupt her and she'll end up right back at the soapland. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? I'm freaking out!
Well, I guess I'll just have to use my ace in the hole.
Yes.
You've had a plan this whole time?
I sure do. You introduce Nanoha to a guy who's better than her boyfriend. Then she'll drop that loser like a rock.
No way. Her heart is a complete mystery. I mean, we're talking about a woman who fell in love with Katsuragawa.
Hear me out. You bring in a shining stud that makes all the other dudes look like ass. I bet he'll catch her eye.
Okay, but you're forgetting I don't know any guys like that. Where do I find a stud?
Come on. I'm sure he's closer than you think.
Where?
Ouch.
You're looking at him.
You think you're the dreamy type? That's even funnier than your hair.
I wasn't joking.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Ooh,
Ichiban!
I feel more cheerful about this now.
Good shit then.
Okay, what else can we do? There has to be something.
Well, if you really don't think we can convince Nanoha to dump him, I don't know. Wait, we've been looking at this all wrong. We need to get Katsuragawa to stay away from Nanoha, not the other way around.
How are you gonna do that? Beat him up and run him out of town?
If he were the kind of guy to give up just like that, sure. But he probably isn't. Especially now that he knows Nanoha's willing to be his piggy bank. If we screw this up, he might even take her with him when he bails.
I can't let that happen.
I think what we gotta do is crush his pride. Like, get Nanoha to break up with him without shedding a single tear. As if he's nothing to her.
And how do we do that?
It's so obvious, Sachan. Haven't you caught on yet?
To what?
You pretend to be Nanoha and break up with him. Use the twin angle to your advantage. Yeah. March in and tell Katsuragawa you never want to see him again. I'll stand there and look intimidating while you give him the boot. That'll have him running.
That's a terrible idea.
See, that might actually work.
Let's do it. All we need is to find out where Katsuragawa's hanging out. Your employees could probably do that, right?
No problem. I'll tell the girls to start looking for him right away.
Great. We wait for their word, and we move in for the kill. It'll go fine. I'll be right there with you to make sure he doesn't give you trouble.
It's a date. Good thinking today, Ichiban. I'll go tell the girls to start asking around.
She and her sister are a handful. And it feels like we're finally gonna wrap this up.
And we're finally here, where it all ended and where it all began. And there's a little token here. But let's finally enter.
I went ahead and got started.
You sure you don't mind treating me?
What? Are you actually able to pay?
Huh, no.
Wish I could, but I don't think they'd take this.
You don't sound like you're gonna relax during this meal.
Depends on what you say. Hopefully I'll relax enough to enjoy the duck. So, how do you know Arakawa-san? I'm on the edge of my seat here.
It wasn't long after the war the counterfeit bills started being produced in Ijincho. It was top secret. Only the heads of the Seiryu clan and the Liumang, plus some officers, knew about it. Outside of that inner circle, they also had to hire people to smuggle the bills.
Smugglers?
And one of them was a traveling actor. His name was Toshio Arakawa. He was Masumi Arakawa's father.
What?
One day, he came to us saying he lost an entire suitcase filled with 100 mil in fake yen. No excuse in the world could have saved him. A mistake that grave required the Seiryu clan to make an example out of him for the other smugglers. But remember, only a few people at the top even knew about the counterfeiting. It wasn't a task they could hand to just anybody. So I, being next in line to inherit the clan, was entrusted to carry it out.
So did you actually...
Yes. I killed Toshio Arakawa, father of Masumi Arakawa. In this very place, 40 years ago. But I had no idea who was in the room with my target. By the time I learned it was his 14-year-old son, it was too late. I had to go through with the hit, knowing this boy would see his father die. To make my guilt even worse, later I found out why Toshio lost the fake bills. His wife and her lover had stolen them.
Oh God, no. That's so sad.
Those two fell into the ocean and disappeared. Their corpses were never even found.
So Arakawa-san lost both his parents, one after the other.
And his only other friends, the theater troupe, disbanded soon after without their leader. Masumi Arakawa became a drifter, along with a few other actors. They couldn't trust anyone, So what other path was there for them, except becoming yakuza in Kamurocho? Arakawa joined a low-ranking family in the Tojo clan called the Hikawa family. Life wasn't easy for him there. They were the kind of family that took hits without thinking twice.
Really?
Yes. So they were always in need of ways to dispose of a body. Masumi Arakawa was tapped to help with that, and he was extremely cautious. To do it, he started coming all the way to the homeless camp in Ijincho.
Really? Even though the family was based in Tokyo? Why?
Well, truthfully, he wanted an excuse to come to Yokohama. Because it would afford him opportunities to hunt his father's killer.
I see. So Arakawa-san was using the homeless camp to dispose of bodies all the way back then.
Indeed. As for his hunt, he researched yakuza and criminals every time he was here. All he started with was a single clue. His own childhood memory of the suspicious waiter he saw here that night. Eventually, 7 years after the murder, I received an invitation to come here. He signed his invitation Masumi Arakawa. It was a bold declaration, and I knew immediately the running would be futile. So I came here, alone. I didn't even bring a bodyguard.
Why the hell not?
Well, to put it simply, I was prepared to die.
But, I mean...
In this line of work, there are no good ways to die. And I can think of worse ways to go that would not give that boy the justice he'd earned. The memory of what I'd done to him never left me, you know. It was always like a small bone stuck in my throat. He was sitting right where you are now.
Here?
Yes. He didn't look a day over 20. But his eyes had that hard, flinty gaze of an old killer. I couldn't help myself. I told him everything. I told him why I killed Toshio Arakawa. I even told him about the secret counterfeiting. I figured I was dead anyway. He had a gun in his hand, and all he had to do was pull the trigger. But he never once interrupted me. When I'd finished, he slowly stood up. I stopped him as he turned to leave. "Didn't you come here for revenge?" I asked.
And? What did he say?
He said, "If only you had ignored my invitation, then I could have shot you in the back." Then he left.
Boss.
In 1984, the 10,000 yen bill changed from the face of Prince Shotoku to Yukichi Fukuzawa. By By that time, Arakawa had found his own yakuza family, so I sent him a gift.
What was it?
A fresh batch of crisp, fake bills featuring Yukichi Fukuzawa. They were defective prints with nothing on the back. Not exactly legal tender.
Then how was that a gift?
It's hard to explain. If I had to say, it was out of gratitude.
Sure, but for what?
I should have died that day I met with Arakawa. I would have been right. And yet he spared me. Not only that, but he lifted a terrible weight from my chest. Furthermore, it's not an exaggeration to say the equilibrium among the E-Gene 3 continues to this day because of him. I owe him an unfathomable debt. And one day, I must pay it back. The defective bills were how I chose to communicate the sentiment. The counterfeiting secret is Ijincho's weakness. And it was only thanks to Arakawa that the E-Gene 3 could continue to secretly wield that power. But of course, that means if he ever feels like it was a mistake to let me live, he can use the fake bills to unravel everything I've built. The gift wasn't the bills themselves, they were leverage. I actually wrote something on the back to that effect. Neither justice nor mercy should tip the scale. It means that those in power must reward and punish where necessary. I felt it was an appropriate message. I suppose the writing is faded at this point.
Whoa.
Oh.
So that's the whole story.
Up till this moment. But now I'm sitting across from a man holding one of those fake bills. Which, of course, is a message from Arakawa that only I could understand. The message is, Masumi Arakawa sees you as a beloved family member.
Arakawa-san thinks of me as family.
Yes, we can trust them
You would
again.
not have placed that bill in your pocket lightly. Do you see its significance now? After everything I've told you? There is almost no doubt in my mind that Arakawa did not want you killed. So he didn't shoot you out of malice. He shot you so that you would be brought here, be saved by the homeless, and eventually meet up with me. Do you see? That's everything I can tell you.
That's plenty. Thank you, Chairman. I see it all now. I always kind of figured.
You did? Well, it's your move now. I've only told you what I know, so...
It's okay. That's enough. I trust you.
Well, I don't hear that often.
Yeah, neither do I. Not even from my friends. But those friends are trustworthy to me. And so are you. I believe everything you said. And my faith in Arakawa-san is coming back strong.
Kasuga,
Yeah?
Are you a blood relative of Arakawa's?
No, it's not like that.
I see. Well, he must have been happy to have such loyalty as yours. As proud as any father, I think.
Please be a duck and not a gun.